Hi everybody, it's a real honor to be speaking here tonight. I'm Joe Heathcock, I'm the community farmer at Sandy Spring Friends School. This is my first season growing, hopefully of many more to come. And I'd just like to thank everybody who went before me for getting so much said. Alright, if we can go ahead and start. We have an absolutely amazing food system that brings worldwide products to shelves that are always stocked. But there are unseen problems that are referred to as externalities that mask the real cost of things. Ignorance of these systems keeps us disconnected between our food and the healthy environment. This white screen, this is hunger. Every morning, every person, every living thing on earth has to get food. For us, it's so easy that we rarely miss meals. And when is the last time that you went to sleep hungry? Farmers in the United States produce a tremendous surplus of food every year, but consumer food choices ultimately decide what food will look like. So this is one grasshopper. She hops around the garden leisurely, while the abundance of summer offers easy snacks. She has a few leaves and blades, among many that will satisfy. But a funny thing happens when locusts start to get together. What motivates the plague to take wing? Well, actually, each one thinks the one behind it is going to eat it. So they have to keep moving, and the behavior of the swarm totally alters. So I don't think we're quite on the verge of a plague of locusts with our food system, but I am concerned on multiple fronts. If you use Roundup Ready corn, you get resistant weeds. If you give every pig antibiotics, you get resistant bacteria. This is a sticky problem, but becoming conscious of how food gets to you and into you will continue to fuel change. This is the food dollar. It represents the consumer's final dollar that's spent, which goes to various sources along the food chain. And as you can see, the farmer's share is quite small. It's been shrinking for many years too, and farmers need to get into those other areas of the food economy in order to correct that. So this is a picture of monoculture. It's resource intensive. It generates more waste than it can possibly use. It has bare soil, and this is a cheap burger. Scale out a little bit, and you can see the efficiency of semi-truckloads of corn being fed to cows in nice straight rows packed in as tightly as they can get. This is the culmination of extractive industry and the exclusion of all of other values. Many countries have banned foods that the United States food system many countries have banned foods that are the backbone of the U.S. food system. And in addition to GMO crops, synthetic hormones, artificial dyes, many chickens are fed arsenic so their flesh is pinker on grocery store shelves. That's for the consumer's eyeballs. We overproduce corn and soybeans, meat and oils, and underproduce fruits, vegetables, legumes, small grains, nuts. Diverse farmland and diverse diets go hand in hand, but it's much more management intensive and requires skills in addition to driving tractors and building fences. We do not have to be alienated from nature or stuck in the past. This great quote from Aldo Leopold, I'll just give you a second to read. We have incredible amounts of knowledge and research available. It's an exciting generation to be a part of the change that's going on. This is the red tide. It's caused by agriculture, there's no doubt. This is fuels algae that then dies and creates an anaerobic environment where everything else dies. Now, on the opposite end of the spectrum, this is the delta behind San Joaquin and Sacramento rivers in Florida, just behind the bay. It used to be underwater. Now it's intensively farmed, and the opposite thing has happened. All this bogland that used to be underwater is now exposed to oxygen and is decaying. All those areas are now lower than sea level and are maintained every year so they don't flood. This is a current drought forecast. You may remember last year how much the Corn Belt was decimated. If the drought continues the way that it has over the past couple of years, we're really going to need to rethink our agriculture system's reliability in the big picture. We can't continue to take more out of the soil than we put back into it. It depletes minerals, which is reflected in our food, and is literally carrying away the living soil in wind and water. So here's a system that we ought to base our food system on. This is the human digestive system, and most people understand that there's soil, and then a truck, and then a fridge, and then a fork, and their mouth is at the end of it. But what I would encourage you all to do, and I think what we're doing here, is to become more conscious of the work, the energy, and the resources that it takes to go into our food to keep us well nourished. Food is culture. Let's not always be fast, cheesy, greasy, and fried. I'm looking at you, Americans. In each gram of soil, there are more discrete organisms than there are people on Earth. The web of life that it takes to maintain healthy plants requires all sorts of scales, from the earthworms all the way on down to single-celled organisms. By caring for the earth, it's returned to us in bountiful nutrition. Without this community of plants, plants would not be able to absorb non-soluble minerals. So the community farm, things taste better when you pick them yourself. So the whole idea is to get as early as possible your hands in the garden, picking your own food. It's contagious to find the freshest food in season, and it's a lifestyle that identifies yourself as a producer rather than simply as a consumer of products available. And the last thing I would like to say is thank you again for everyone for coming tonight. And you may notice on the way out, the last thing that I will say is that we're having a farm-to-table fundraiser dinner on October 19th. So if you're interested in any way in supporting this mission, tickets are available now, and I really hope that a lot of you will be able to make it. Thanks so much to everyone for coming out.